everyone, it's Michelle from Scrap Secrets and welcome to another video. This is Craft and Chat number 7 and we're going to be doing some watercoloring. I actually won a stamp set the other day on Courtney Krieber's 10,000 subscriber hop. Super excited, so thank you so much, Courtney, for donating all those amazing prizes. I got Simon Hurley's road trip stamp set, and this is the first stamp set I've ever received from him, and it's huge. I was so impressed with how big it is. So there's the stamp set. Out of respect for Simon and for other crafters, I am no longer going to be showing the whole entire stamp set. I'm rethinking how I'm going to do my hauls. I just read a post from Kindred Stamps, and they're really asking people to not show theirs because their images are getting stolen, like I'm sure other companies are. So I am going to be figuring out a new way to do my hauls, and hopefully that will be sufficient. I don't want to lose any viewers, but I also don't want companies to get ripped off. So the first thing that we're going to do is I cut down a piece of watercolor cardstock, and this is just Canson XL watercolor. I had a ton of it from, I think, AC Moore and Michael's, when AC Moore was still in business. They often had them for fairly inexpensive, so I got them there. And I'm going to be trying a new technique to me. I've never really done this, and I don't even know if it's really going to work, so we're going to see. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this sun stamp and stamp it out, and we're going to be using we're going to kind of make it in the corner, because what I'm going to do is have some palm trees getting higher as we go away from the sun. Like underneath the sun, obviously you can't have the palm tree in the sun, so you're just going to have the bottom. And then these stamps are actually ones that you can fill in as you go. So as I'm going through this, I'm also going to be tell you guys a little bit about what's going on. If you saw, I think it was one of my last videos, I talked about all of the great things that I have coming up. There are a ton of hops. I joined Team Tiny, which is a group for channels with less than 1,000 subscribers, although the founder of it, Catherine Kelly, just hit over 1,000 subscribers, as well as some of the people in the group. So I think they're gonna have to change the name or maybe the requirements. So super cool that, everybody is getting lots of love and views and subscribers. So they do a hop every month, so we're going to be doing one in honor of Catherine's 1,000 subscriber mark, and there are some really, really cool surprises along the way. Okay, so I just inked that up, and I kind of want to see, I've kind of inked and sprayed before. There's something in my stamp. A little fuzzy. I've tried that before. I'm just gonna see how this works with a stamp that has a sentiment on it. I want to make this look all watercolored because we're gonna do it's gonna be like a faux watercoloring. So back to the hops. So we're gonna do one for Catherine. Oh, that's kind of cool looking. It's definitely different. I think that I'm going to want to ink it up one more time, but I'm going to let this dry a little bit, and maybe I'll start on the palm trees, because I think I just want to let that dry just a teeny tiny bit. So there's back to the hops. Sorry guys, I'm back and forth. This is going to be like one of my storytelling things, and it'll be back and forth between techniques and talking about what's going on. So super excited for Catherine. Such an amazing milestone. She is a very cool crafter. I've learned a lot from her channel. I think that she does a lot of neat things. And now I'm in trouble because I think that I wanted to do this. Let's see, maybe we'll make this one go all the way to the top. I probably want to mask this one as well, because I think that I kind of want to have 3, and I think I want to have them overlapping. So I think we should probably find a scrap piece of paper, which I'm sure I have a scrap lying around here somewhere. I always have scraps of paper and things. But anyway, so Catherine's 1,000 subscriber hop think it's at the end of the month. There's, like, honestly, guys, there's so much going on with hops and everything. I'm trying to keep everything straight. So I'm just taking a scrap piece of paper, and we're going to use my Misty and do this. I have the Misty and, like, all the stamping stuff in a box next to my desk because I babysat the twins on Wednesday. My sister had to go into work, and so did my brother-in-law. So I had them all day on Wednesday, which was a lot of fun. We made Father's Day cards they made Father's Day cards, not we, because they really don't need much help anymore. They're 5, almost 6. They'll be 6 in 2 months, and let me tell you, they are like pro crafters. Not procrastinators, they're pro crafters. So, right, that's not bad. I can cut that out as a mask. And let's do 2 of them. So anyway, so they made Father's Day cards for their dad, and they were so excited about them. They got, I even got them away from the TV to do some crafts, which if you have 5-year-olds, you know that that's not an easy thing to do. Especially the really crafty one didn't want to come craft with me, which is very unusual for her because, like I said, she's my crafty one. And she just wanted to watch these Spy Kids shows. I have no idea. 5-year-olds, I don't know where they got it from, but it's better. I like that better than the Victorious, I think, that they watch, which I can't say anything, but I don't feel it's appropriate for 5-year-olds, but not my kids, so can't really say too much. So I don't like them watching that. I try to get them away from that. But yeah, they watched some Spy Kids stuff, and then we did, you know, the cards for their dad, which hopefully they won't tell him about, which they probably will. One of the 2 of them is a little bit more, shall we say, she's a little bit more honest, and will tell it'll be like, guess what we did? So she probably told her dad that they made cards for him, but as long as she doesn't show them to him until after Father's Day, whatever. And you know what, they're their cards. If they want to show them to their dad before Father's Day, who am I to stop them? You know, they made them. They're their cards. It's his Father's Day. So anyway, so he did that. So I have a lot of my supplies were actually in a box for them because I tend to take over a lot of stuff for them when they always want to look for new stamps. They're always like, if I don't bring over new stamps each and every time, they're like, we saw these already. We already did these. The only ones that they really don't say that about are some of the Kindred Stamps ones, some of the like princess ones that are their favorites. I brought over the bananas box one, and they didn't use it. They just saw it, and they were in love with it. So I will bring that one back because we did not use it. But if I don't bring over new stuff, they're like, well, you don't have anything new for us? So, and they don't really care that craft stores are closed right now in New Jersey. You know, because there was one time where I said they asked for a specific stamp set. It was one of the princesses. And I said, well, I can't find it. Like, I guess Kindred Stamps hadn't made one or made one before I became a fan of Kindred Stamps and started buying their stuff. And they said, well, just go on the internet and get it. Like, well, I guess, I mean, in the mind of a 5-year-old, and I think they were like 4 then, actually, you know, that's what you do. You just go online and you can just buy anything. So they always keep me very honest, so they don't understand the fact that, I mean, they do understand that stores are not open, but they really don't care about that. They're like, where's my new stuff? So I'm only going to cut 1 mask because I may be able to get away with just 1 mask, doing 1 mask. I really don't want to spend all my time cutting masks. So there's the one. I fussy cut it. It's not a great mask. I mean, I didn't cut it perfectly, but we'll be able to work with it because I'm also going to what my hope is to do a watercolored background too. So let's see, the sun is essentially dry and it's like very spotty, which kind of looks cool. It has like a, almost like a, I guess it kind of has like a watercolor feel, but you can see the texture behind it, but you can't really read the words. However, the words are actually in a stamp set, and I think that's what I'm going to do, is put them over that. So I'm going to ink this up one more time. And the inks that I'm using because I totally forgot to use, I'm using all Distress ink today. I'm not using any Distress Oxide. So I am using Distress ink in Mustard Seed for the whole thing. I'm inking that all up in Mustard Seed. And then I'm using the Fossilized Amber kind of out towards the ends of the rays. And we'll go from there. And then I will spray a tiny bit of water. I just did one. I think I did 2 spritz last time, so I just did 1 this time. And we're gonna see what that does. Oh, it just did a little bit more of the Fossilized Amber, and I actually got a little bit more in the middle with the spritz. So, which is fine. I think that it's a really, really cool and different look. Now, if I was super impatient, which normally I am, could dab that up with some, because there's like little beads of water on top of it. I could dab that up with a paper towel and we could move on to the next thing. But I'm going to wait a minute and we'll talk a little bit about the other things. So I talked about the Catherine Kelly 1000 subscribers on Team Tiny. So their hops are a little bit different. Like I said, this is the first one that I'm going to be participating in. And, oops. Put in the stamp backwards. There is no order for the hop. It's a hashtag driven hop. So all you do is put the hashtag in there and you type in the hashtag and you're going to find all of the videos associated with it. So that is something that's different. And then Courtney Krieber's Handmade Happiness group has a hop. Try to say that like 10 times fast. There is a hop over on Handmade Happiness that is 1 stamp. So you have to use 1 stamp and use every bit and piece on there, which is going to be so super hard. It has to be a 4x6 stamp, and it cannot be just a background stamp. It has to have at least 1 image and 1 sentiment, which I'm like, oh, well, I wasn't going to cheat and try to do that, but I was thinking like, oh, I have some really, really nice ones, like say the ones from Colorado Craft Company, and where it's just 1 big image. And then I was like, it's 1 big image, and it's not breaking the rules, it's not cheating, but I'm like, oh, and there's Lucy. Unless Lucy's saying yes, that is breaking the rules. I'm not really sure what she's complaining about. But, you know, that's not against the rules. But I think I want to pick a regular stamp set that has a lot of sentiments on it and maybe several images. So I want to do kind of like a scene card. I think that's what my plan is, to do kind of a scene card. And it may be a fun fold card. I don't know. I'm really loving the fun fold card since we had that fun fold challenge. I guess maybe it was like time is so beyond me. So guys, I am so sorry if I can't remember exactly when it was. It had to be maybe like a month or 2 ago that we did the fun fold ones. That was so much fun. And then I did the fun fold for the graduation card for the senior that I adopted. So that one was a lot of fun too. But I'm really, really loving the fun fold cards. And you know, so maybe I will do one. I have to find a new fun fold, because even though I like the fun folds that I did, I kind of get bored of them. Kind of like, oh, let me do this while I'm waiting. This one, I'm going to put a couple of dots on this. This is the Zig 2A glue pen, and this will make this into a mask. And Lucy is sitting underneath of me whining and crying, and I'm really not sure why. Really not sure what the heck she wants. Okay, so we're kind of going to just go with this because I can't get a really good impression. I don't know. I think it might be the Stamp Perfect. I think there's a place on my Stamp Perfect where the foam is not as, maybe not as even as the rest of it. I don't know. I just feel like I usually get a better stamp with my Misty, and I don't know why I didn't use my Misty. I usually do. This was on, like I said, I had this. The girls like this one. I don't know. I'm surprised. I thought they would like the pink of the Misty better, but they don't. They like this one. So this was the one that was on top, so I just kind of used that one. Okay, so we're gonna do this, and then we're going to stamp the, let me clean this off a little bit first. Hopefully I don't get ink on my projects, because if you watch my videos, I am a super, super inky crafter. So let's try this. So we're gonna do a little bit of overlapping. There we go, like right here. Okay. So you can see I already got ink on the page, so I'm trying not to move this. So it's, oh, that's almost in the sun. Oh well, you know, it's handmade. It'll be about perspective. Promise you the sun is not going to burn the palm tree down. I did just say that too, didn't I? When I first started this, I said, you know, I didn't want any palm trees to be too close to the sun. So you didn't want it in the sun. Well, it's not in the sun, but it's really stinking close. So, I don't know. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Okay. Okay, so here we go. Stamp this one more time. And again, if it's not perfect, it's not perfect. I'm not going to be overly concerned about it. Like I said, handmade card. This is kind of more of like a trial and error thing. A lot of the times I'll do this with card fronts, and I'll just kind of do like a trial and error. And some make it, you know, some make the cut, some make it onto a card, and others just, you know, just aren't good enough to make it to card fronts. So, ooh, I didn't give this enough time, I don't think, to dry. We might have some, oops, the mask got a little ruined, but that's okay. Kind of just gonna kind of do the best we can with the masks. I just really need the left side of the palm tree to be down. And we're gonna make sure it's kind of away from the sun, because again, don't want that sun to burn that palm tree. So we just really need a little bit of mask for that one, because it's not really overlapping. Okay, so back to kind of story time. So what were we talking about? Oh, we're talking about all the hops. So the one stamp challenge with the fun folds, that's going to be a lot of fun. This weekend I have to work on that, because that is the 22nd. And then the end of the month is the Catherine Kelly one. And I swear I have another one, and I just can't remember. Oh, I know what I have. I have one, I think it's also the end of the month. We're doing what's the same stamp, where everybody either, so this first company, Julie Claire was the first company where we went and she gave us a choice of 4 stamps, and you signed up for a stamp set and bought it, and then you're going to do a card project with that stamp set, and then there's going to be a hop, and you're going to be able to see a bunch of different ideas with the same stamp set, like a bunch of different card ideas with the same stamp set, which is so cool. I just think that's such an amazing idea. Okay, so here's the palm trees. Kind of liking it. Again, this is more of like a trial and error technique thing. Okay, so now that the sun is dry, I'm going to do this. And now this is where I wish that this was interactive and you guys could tell me what you want me to do, because I can use Distress ink and Wild Honey, or I can stamp in the black. So I really want to try the Distress ink first, but I fear that it might be a little bit too close to the color of the sun. So I'm going to try this, and then if it doesn't work, then what we're going to do is we'll just stamp it in black. So kind of just answered my own question, didn't I? You know, I asked you guys, and then I did what I wanted to do anyway, because you guys can't respond because this isn't a live video. So I have never done a YouTube live video. I'm afraid, because I feel like nobody would watch it. And you can kind of see it. I'm going to stamp again. The thing with distress inks is they really are hard to stamp with. So let me see. Do I have the wild? I might have the Wild Honey in Distress Oxide. So let me try doing this twice, and if that doesn't work out, then we might use the Distress. Oh no, it looks pretty cool. You can actually see it. Right, you know, I'm gonna do it one more time. Make it stand out a little bit more. Distress inks are harder to stamp with. Distress oxides, I've found I have a better result with it, but this actually came out really good. So you guys can see that. I hope you can see it. And then we're gonna do for the palm trees, we're kind of gonna do what we did with everything else. We're gonna spray it. So I really only need it for these leaves over here because otherwise it doesn't really matter. So I'm just going to move this over. And then what's neat about this stamp set is that there are pieces. There's the trunk and then the leaves. So we're going to, what's nice, you can color these in or you can stamp them. So I think that's really a cool thing. And hopefully I've lined it up correctly. Because I love, the one thing about, one of the things that I love are layering stamps. So we're going to use, again, more Distress ink. And we're going to use Vintage Photo and Walnut Stain. So I'm going to cover the whole thing in the Vintage Photo first. Yeah, Vintage Photo. And I'm really weird. I don't know if anyone else is like this, but since this is labeled this way, I have to have the writing facing the correct way. It doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't, but it's just something, I get a little bit, I don't know, weird if they're not like that. Okay, we're gonna do, sorry about that, the video got cut off. So we are just going to stamp again. We're gonna do this, the last palm tree that I did. So the one stamp challenge is, or the same stamp set challenge is pretty cool. It goes on for, I think, 6 months. We decided we're going to do it. So we'll probably be doing it till the end of the year. And yeah, we're looking at promoting smaller stamp companies. We have a lot of great stuff coming up. So that will be once a month, and that's at the end of the month. So I got to double check. I shouldn't have put that away. I do have to double check that that's when it is though, because clearly I have so much going on, and then with everything else that's going on with work too. I want to make sure that I keep all my dates straight and I have everything done for the time that they need to be done, because that would be the worst if I missed a challenge because I didn't write things down. And I'm terrible with that. I have to get a little bit better. That's mustard seed. I don't need that anymore. Again, Vintage Photo. We're going to do the same thing for the last one. So I guess I didn't need the masks on right then. I should have done these first. I don't think I sprayed water on the other ones. I can't remember. Ugh. See what happens when the camera goes off? I lose my memory. I am going to definitely spray water on the leaves because I want to try that technique out on the leaves. So we are going to now put that mask back on, and I really just need these leaves right here. I don't care about the stems or anything like that, but we are going to line the leaves up. So those are the hops that I have going on. And again, I should have used the Misty for this because this is, I feel like I just keep having to turn it around. And I'm trying to get better with lining up stamps because I really do like the layering stamps. I love the way they look. I love being able to build color and do all that. Okay, so I have not used this stamp before. If you've noticed, when I do use new stamps, I generally rub my fingers over them and they'll become a little bit cloudy rather than like that see-through, and it just is wiping off any film that may have been left from when they were in production. Now you can do that, or you can people use erasers. I've seen people wipe like towels and stuff over them, but I just use my finger. Okay, so I'm gonna cover this all with peeled paint. This is Distress ink. Again, I'm using all Distress inks today. And now I wanna come in with Mowed Lawn, and this would be perfect if you had the little cubes. And just add a little bit to the outer, and then one spray to kind of get those colors moving. And then let's place them down. Let's see the ink. I'm so excited to do this because I've never, you know, and this probably is a technique that many of you have done. I've stamped with water, stuff like this before, but this just feels different to me with the layering stamps. I mean, I've done ink where I've sprayed it before, but I kind of just wanted to get it to look like a watercolored look without it actually being watercolored. Okay, so that's it. Kind of came out cool. With the mask, because it is, I'm going to press a little bit harder where the masks are, because the mask is raised up, so you're going to get like a little white line around it. So we'll see. We can probably fix that, although some of this is going to actually be fixed when you stamp the next one, I believe. So now I just need the left part of the tree. I'm going to wipe this off to be masked. The left part of the tree needs to be masked off because that's the only part that overlaps. Okay, so I'm going to line this side up. As long as these sides line up, they should all line up. Okay, we're going to do the same thing. And this is actually pretty fun. This is actually a really cool technique. I don't use my Distress inks and Distress oxides for stamping that much, so this is pretty cool. And I do love the watercolor techniques that you can do with Distress inks. I do use that. I do use them for watercoloring. It's actually probably my preferred method for watercoloring, just because I find it easier. I do have a couple sets of watercolors. I did let the girl, I bring them over and the girls will actually watercolor. They think watercoloring painting is the same thing. They love to paint. So we do use them, but I don't find that I reach for those watercolor palettes very often. I reach more for my Distress inks. Mainly my Distress inks. Distress oxide, I will watercolor with them every once in a while, but it's mainly my Distress oxide, or sorry, my Distress inks that I watercolor with. Okay, so, oops, well, that took a little bit of off. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're going to, we'll get this fixed in a minute, because there are very easy ways that you can fix this. So we're gonna do the last one, and then we're gonna go in with a watercolor brush and just fill in at the teeny tiny spaces that didn't get fully colored when we stamped. So again, lining these up are fairly easy, and I think it looks really cool. I'm actually really liking this, and this one will probably actually get made into a card. So we'll actually use this on a card. So what's neat about this is actually when I'm inking this up, I can see, even just using one color of Distress ink. Let me see if I can show you guys. I don't know if you can see that there because there's a little bit of a glare, but where there are lines in the stamp, they are actually darker there. So that is where I'm going to concentrate my darker color. Like there's actually already kind of like, what do you call it? Like highlights and shadows and stuff in the stamp already, so it makes it easier. So I like that when they actually do the lines in the image for you, because it kind of takes the guesswork out of it. Okay, all right, so there we go. All right, so let's take the masks off. And it really doesn't look that bad. There's just that one little, there's like on the first palm tree, there's like this piece here and then this. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna put this off to the side, my squeaky Stamp Perfect. And what we're gonna do is we're going to do a little bit of, just a teeny tiny bit of the peeled paint, a tiny bit of the Mowed Lawn down. I had a watercolor, oh there it is. My desk is such a mess, guys. If you could see, like this looks nice and, mostly nice and clean. the rest of my desk is a utter mess. So we're just going to, oh, that's not really working. There we go. We're going to just brush it out just a little bit, just to add a little bit of color. I'm going to try to get a little bit of the darker color. Just to add a little bit of shading. So what you could definitely do is take a darker color and you could actually come in and like fix some of this. Like, to me, this doesn't bother me. I just needed to get some ink down on some of these spots that didn't have any, you know, it was like a huge white area because there was a mask on it. So you could watercolor this, you could stamp it. Like I said, I like that there's a little bit of white there, but I did want to fill in some of those spots because it was just pretty obvious that I had missed. So that's it, and I think this is what I was going to do, was kind of do like a blue background. I think I still may do that, but I'm going to wait until everything is dry. And this video is probably long enough, and I don't want you guys to have to sit through a lot, but just know that there are a lot of projects coming up. I have, like I said, the 3 hops that are coming up. 1 is Instagram, 2 are Facebook. I mean, not Facebook, I'm sorry, YouTube. But I will have YouTube videos for all 3 of them because I will film the process videos for all of that. So that's a lot that I'm going to be working on this weekend. The 22nd is the Instagram hop. I believe the 29th are both of the other hops. So sorry about my camera dying. There was not enough room on my phone. I need to get a new phone because I'm constantly running out of room. So I hope that you guys like this. This, again, it's the road trip stamp set from Simon Hurley, and I was super excited about getting that. So thank you again, Courtney, and thank you again, Simon, for the stamp set. I appreciate it, and I will see you guys soon in another video. Bye!